Roll, please. Speed.
Background. And action.
Let me just say that I would ensure your marriage any day of the week. Mazel, you two. Good things.
Cut it. Action.
This guy's world gets rocked by this event, you know. And all of a sudden, it's everything that he thought was going to be is not going to happen. And he has to reconceive his life.
Take you, Lisa.
Ben's character's guy has got his whole life planned out. So he not only sees his career, but he sees he's going to get married at a certain age.
You can write the list forever of all the wonderful qualities that Ben Stiller's character has. Ruben is just safe and trustworthy and everything a husband should be.
He wants to have children whose birthdays don't fall on school holidays because that can be traumatic for them. He's thought it all through, and he turns out to just be wrong.
Oh my God! Holy shit, Ruben! This is not what it looked like.
Okay, well now he's got to start over, so what's the next best/worst thing that could happen?
Ruben? You're Ruben Pfeffer, right?
He meets somebody, you know, who he thinks he can reconnect with, and she turns out to be like the least committal person ever, basically.
You've got to be married with kids and the whole thing.
No, I'm not.
Ben Stiller is just, you know, I don't even know how to put words to it, what he can do.
Ben's not just perfect for Ruben, Ben's a great actor. He's a naturalistic actor with perfect comic timing. He knows exactly where the joke is, but he never pushes it, so you get all the comedy of somebody's behavior perfectly timed without ever feeling it's being pushed in your face.
Sweep in with your mambo moves and your Eric Estrada look and come in and try to take her away because I've had that happen before and it's not going to happen again.
Ruben, I'm gay.
Hey, I don't care what you... What?
Someone asked John Hamburg if he stayed at home and thought of ways to torture Ben Stiller.
You go, you know, okay, what's a normal situation that you could get into? A woman brings you to a dance club and you don't like to dance. You know, and it kind of, everybody can relate to that. I can relate to that from my own life, but then you kind of take it to the extreme. That's just the way my mind works. I sort of think of a situation and then I think of how to make it worse and worse and worse for Ben Stiller, usually.
Hey, you mind if I use your bathroom?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
The toilet scene is just, you know, all sorts of things go through your mind when you're shooting a scene like that. Like, why am I doing this? What is my life about? What, you know, deep psychological need do I have to be accepted? It's like one step away from porn, I think. In a movie like this, you're only as good as the people who you're playing against because you have to react to them and kind of go through this whole journey. Jennifer is incredibly reactive, you know, and she's cute, and
she's just an amazing comic actress. I was trying to figure out who would play Polly.
Polly!
Polly Prince.
Yes!
I read the script and it's so rare that you laugh that hard.
friend of yours?
Yeah, that's Roxanne. She does that with, you know, bread and wine bottles and stuff. Anyway.
I really laughed hard throughout the whole thing. Just doesn't happen that often.
Are you okay? Because you're sweating pretty profusely.
I knew that she would have the ability to kind of play the scenes opposite Ben and keep up with him in terms of comic ability and comic timing.
Yeah. She's definitely more free-spirited and lives her life very on the edge, you know, and has kind of moved around a lot. But she doesn't have love. It's the one thing she doesn't have.
Are you coming out of a bad relationship, or?
No, I'm kind of coming out of like 8 bad relationships.
And so basically, the rest of the movie is kind of them trying to make sense of this relationship that they're falling into. And antics ensue.
He's an odd bird, you know? She's never met anybody that knows all of these, the statistics and the information that he lives his life by. It's like fascinating. But I don't think until she sees him put all this effort into trying really hard to be on her level, especially with the salsa dancing, and she just sees this guy is really, he's done a lot of work for me. You know, he's tried really hard.
Hey, Sandy. It's Polly Prince.
Oh, wow.
Remember from middle school?
Hey, how you doing? Sandy did a film when he was probably like 13, and it was a really famous movie, and he became well known when he was 13, and Now he's my age, in his 30s, and he's hasn't done a movie since, really.
You want an autograph?
Ah, no thanks. I thought you died like 15 years ago.
He doesn't really have a job, thinks the world kind of owes him everything. He's just a complete lovable pig.
That's who Sandy is. He's best friends with Ben Stiller's character.
I just always imagined Phil Hoffman as Sandy. The character of Sandy is sort of a slob, but I wanted somebody who could also bring a humanity to the role. And Phil is obviously such an amazing actor, so when he agreed to do it, I was thrilled.
Do me a favor and give me the freedom to rock it.
It's truly funny. It's not only kind of verbal comedy, it's very action-oriented film. There's a lot of physical comedy in the movie, which is just fantastic.
First of all, he looks like he's about 15 years old. And he's this director, and he's wonderful. He's hilarious.
Stand, keep your head just to the left a little bit. Yeah. Back into the left, like in JFK. Okay.
John Hamburg has a unique ability
Ready?
to take human behavior and make it sympathetic and funny.
Real people, real emotions in hyper-real situations.
No, I'm not gonna be fine.
He probably gets me to do things that I wouldn't normally feel that comfortable doing.
There's no better joy for me than to sit in a crowded audience and watch them laugh at something that I've written or directed, kind of connecting with moments up on screen going, I've been there, or thank God that Ben is going through that for me because I never want to go through that, or that, you know, Jennifer's dealing with that, or watching the two of them fall in love. That's really like the joy of doing it, is when everything comes together.
I don't want you to go away, Polly.
You know, those are the days where you just go, you know, I'm just very, very lucky to be doing this.
It really helps to have really funny, great actors to play off of. Every character in the movie, he's cast so well.
Don't make excuses. She's a dime store hooker, and she always will be.
Alec Baldwin plays my boss, Stan Andersky. He was constantly like kind of flicking my ear or patting my butt, like manhandling me. Mistakenly, I invited my mother to visit that day on the set, which wasn't smart. Brian Brown is great, he plays Leland Van Loo, who's the multi-millionaire adventurer guy that I'm trying to insure.
I take Jennifer and Ben, their characters, out for a ride.
Getting pretty good at it.
But of course, cyclonic conditions come up and the next minute they're in all sorts of trouble. But it also allows some very funny situations to happen with Ben's character.
What did you think we were gonna get married?
Whoa!
Maybe.
I was gonna ask you to move in with me first.
I'm a little confused right now, Ruben.
Deborah Messing, we were so fortunate to get, because she's such a gifted comedian and a gifted actress.
I play Ben's wife. I think that the both of them have been living the idea of the perfect couple for many years, and it all explodes.
Oh my God.
The love scene with the Finns was a unique experience. Deborah was really, I must say, the onus was on her. She was doing most of the work in that scene.
I think she made her very funny and also very likable too. And it's a hard character to be likable because, what she does.
Hello. How's it going? My name is Claude.
On paper, the character of Claude, he's the other man. He's the guy who sleeps with my wife on our honeymoon. And then you see Hank shows up on the set, his body buffed, his skin tanned, his wig sun-dappled, his accent, if you could believe it, a new accent from Hank.
Man in an orange dress, ladies and gentlemen. They're paying me. This is the second time I work with Ben, and we know each other a bit, and I knew we were going to have a hard time getting through this not laughing.
He said before we started shooting, he said, you realize when we do the scenes, we're going to be totally naked. It's really going to be tough to hold it together. And then we got out there on the beach, and it was definitely tough to hold it together.
It's like the story of the hippo.
I'm not familiar with that story.
There were a few particular lines that Ben, I don't think, ever made it through. But when I said to him, look at me in my eyeball, I knew that he had no chance there, really.
Okay, cut. Get it? Cut.
You're only as good as the people who you're playing against because you have to react to them. And I say that because I don't want to take any responsibility for my own acting. So I'm blaming it on everybody else.
It's just been a total collaboration. For me, you know, it feels like it's a film by this big group of people who have been assembled to kind of put this on the screen.
It's been a lot of fun. It's really great to work with people that you know, especially when you're doing comedy and you have to do things that could really be bad if they don't work right, and you never really know if they're going to work or not until you see them in front of an audience and see if people are laughing or not. So you have to take those chances.